Hey guys, how are you? What's going on? What's up, guys? Sorry, I'm on a new computer today, so I can't. I don't have a thing. Hey, Bill. Oh, how are you? Sorry, I'm on a new laptop, and so it might be kind of hard to see me, but I appreciate y'all being here. How was your weekend? Did you go anywhere fun? What's going on? Oh, this light is bright. All right. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. You are listening to Dear Jelly. It's DJ Jelly. So glad that you are here. You could have been anywhere. I really appreciate you joining me today. And so, how's everybody doing? Oh, it's the end of the month. Your month is almost over. We are moving into August. This year is going kind of fast. Hopefully, you have gotten to where you have found some prospects if you're looking, and if you're not looking, hopefully you're looking so that you can end the year with someone special. You deserve that. You deserve that. You deserve that. At least if you want it, you deserve that. Shout out to the people joining me online. Hey VL and hey Tamika. So excited. VL said he's been going to festivals. It's a great time for festivals. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that and going out and seeing what there is out there, right? I think it's a great thing to do, especially while it's nice and warm and electricity's in the air. You know, aren't we in a season of possibilities? I sound like I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. So today we're talking about if your significant other has a taste for something, do you bake it, or is your initial thought to buy it? We're in a time where we're just looking at things in terms of we want things fast, convenience, as cost effective as possible. And I saw a video where a man was kind of getting criticized because his daughter made him a birthday cake, and he cried and cried and cried. And he said he hadn't had anyone bake him a cake since he was like 12. And there were several other people who were saying the same thing. Like, I haven't had anybody who cared enough to take the time. And the cake was, he said it was tasty. She apologized that it wasn't, very pleasing to the eye. I think it was her first cake. And so anyway, just in reference to men, like, are we being mindful, or reference to your partners, but especially in reference to men, are we being mindful of things that they haven't experienced in a while? Or are we being mindful of showing people that we care, going the extra mile? Or are we just being more, are we just looking for the quick fix? Or are we going to take time out to go the extra mile, do something special for that person? I feel like more and more people are going to lean towards the buying because then you know it looks good, you know it sounds good. But I just kind of want to challenge us to have this conversation today because a gentleman, when I looked into his TikTok, he had several people who were saying the same thing. Another man was like, "Oh, I understand. I haven't had anybody make a cake for me since I was this year old." I'm like, goodness, so many gentlemen haven't had people go the extra mile for them. And we all deserve that, to go the extra mile, right? You deserve to have somebody go the extra mile, do a little something different. So, depending on who your spouse or significant other is your first thought, let me buy it for you because I know it's going to be perfect? Or do I just make it for you myself? That's what I kind of want to talk about today. I know it's a little different, but I just want to have the conversation because I was really moved by how he broke down that his daughter had baked him this really messy looking cake. But I mean, he broke down crying, and I was teary eyed as well. That's what I want to talk about today. So let's talk about it. Listen, Dear Jelly, on the X, what's your first thought? Your first thought. So, you want to celebrate somebody? My first thought: do something handmade, something myself. Or am I going to buy it? Listen, Dear Jelly, on the X. Oh, I gotta use a different laptop because I can't do nothing. Oh, Jesus. Help me. Tamika, what you say? Your husband's picky? Oh, you married a chef. But I'm also looking at my friend VL, and he's very gifted as well in the kitchen. So, do we just not do for the chefs? Maybe, right? Because you ain't going to be talking about my cooking. Is that what you're saying? Like, you okay, Brianna? Okay, so VL says he went to several festivals. That's amazing. I need to move this closer because I cannot. Tamika, buy it because he's used to professional bakers in the rural area. And he is picky. VL, it just really depends on if she has a favorite vendor or likes my version. Well, I mean, I feel like if you go that extra mile and you're doing it, you might become their favorite, right? Or I might just, or is that just where we are now? Like, is that just where we are now where everybody's like, nah, because if you ain't doing it like this, I don't want it. Tamika, now I feel quirky. Maybe I should take a baking class. Ooh, take a baking class. Yeah, take a baking class. It's a science to baking. I can bake, but I'm not professional. How do I go down? Oh, trying to work this thing without a mouse is a struggle. I gotta go back up. Show your. Ow! I've had several people tell me, just in conversation and in reading the comments from the people who are watching Oh Boys live, that people don't want to bake for you anymore. And because people are picky and because things are fancy and done for you now, that nobody wants to go through that effort. And I just think that that's bad. You're listening to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. Tracking back, that was Loyiso with Let Me Love You Now. And that song is from his release Seasons, the album Seasons. And speaking of Let Me Love You, how we're talking about today, how we're showing our love language, and things of that nature. If you have a significant other and special occasion is coming up, are you going to be baking for them? Are you going to buy for them? Do we even make handmade cards anymore? Do we do anything handmade anymore? Personalized anymore? Do we just buy now? Are we just in that season, that era where it's like, you know what? I'm going to give you a gift that I know is going to be the best and easiest. And if we're doing that, are we doing it for ourselves or for the other person? Where's the sentiment? Where's that coming from? I was watching a video the other day. A gentleman was bawling his eyes out because his daughter baked him a cake for his birthday, and he had not had a cake baked for him since he was 12, and the cake wasn't even all that pretty. And he didn't care. He didn't care. It's his daughter. The fact that something was made for him. It really made him emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying myself. Tamika says that she will buy it, opposed to baking. She will buy because her husband is used to professional bakers in a rural area, and he is picky. So her husband is picky, and so she does not want to disappoint him. She doesn't want to disappoint him. She doesn't want him looking like, now you know. And who is this? That's just what she was saying. VL says it really depends on if she has a favorite vendor or likes my version. Well, does she have a favorite vendor because nobody's taken out the time to become her favorite vendor? That might be why she's has a favorite vendor. I just wonder, like, do we prefer certain things bought because some of us are like, Tamika said her husband's picky. Maybe people are picky, and that's why we're like, Tamika says, now I feel quirky. Maybe I should take a baking class. It's a science to baking. I can bake, but I'm not a professional. I can understand that. Not being a professional, but I think it's definitely worth it. Youth Villages is a private nonprofit organization that serves emotionally troubled at-risk children and their families through a variety of services. The primary goal for each child is to find permanency by returning home to their biological parents, finding a loving and nurturing foster or adoptive home, or in the case of older youth, transitioning successfully into the community. More info at youthvillages.org. So, Tamika says she's not a professional chef. She's not a professional baker. She's thinking maybe she should take a class. I'm hoping that her husband will like it. She says, now I feel quilt. Now I feel quilt. I need to take a class, a baking class. Now you feel quilt. I don't know what that is. She says home economics is much needed for those whose parents did not have gifting in that area. That is true, and I hate they took it out of school. Now she feels guilty. Sorry, she says she feels guilty. No excuses. Everything is online. Everything is online. There's YouTube University. And there's also trial and error. Sometimes we can just try stuff. And even if they have a favorite vendor, maybe you can have that as a backup if yours doesn't work out. Or do several days of celebrating with them. Maybe that can help. I'm just curious, like even if they say they have a taste for some ice cream, are we going to run out and do that? I had a relative one time, her husband said he had a taste for a certain type of cake. And I thought we were going to the store. And she told me, it was an aunt, and she told me that if your husband said he has a taste for something, then you do your best to make it. You do not, and you make it from scratch. You do not buy it. If he has a taste or she has a taste, what she was saying, he has a taste for something, don't give him something artificial. Give him something from your heart. Give him something that you made with your hands. Don't give him something artificial. And he'll appreciate that better. But then I don't know. Because if you can't bake, I just don't know how forgiving he's going to be. But he might be, right? Try it out. Tamika says, good idea. Bake one and buy one just in case it's a flop. I mean, then you just get better at doing things. There used to be a time where there was so much more reverence given to things made for you. And so I don't know what happened to the sentiment. Maybe somebody can help me out here. What happened to the sentiment? What happened to this is what you like? I'm going to make it happen. Something happened to that. Or was it just people are like, you know what? I work hard. I give my all. I need something nice. Don't give me something that you try to do. Give me something that you know you can do. Something you know you can do beautifully. Here's Beautifully by Faye. Listen to Dear Jelly on the X. I feel like I'm rambling now. Sorry, guys. So Tamika. Oh, I think I saw it. Did you send me a birthday thing? Did you text me a birthday thing? No, you didn't. I thought I saw something because I know your birthday's coming. Let me know. I think it's a very good time to surprise those significant others and start baking and doing some things. Surprise that man. You did? Okay, I don't know where it is. Hey, Jenna. Happy Sunday, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. There's people that are on and they're hopping on and hopping off. I see y'all. I have the option to turn off how many people are viewing. I'm thinking about doing that. But then y'all gonna think I'm here alone. How's your Sunday going? Did you do something exciting today, Jenna? VL went to a festival. See, did y'all read VL's comment? That's what I'm talking about. So that wasn't something that you originally made, VL? I love, see, y'all? That's what I'm talking about. And that's a man saying that. So why am I coming across, and nobody on here, just people I've been having conversations with, and they're just like, I'm not doing all that. Why? Why not? Bake for that person. Make them a card. You listen to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. Tracking back. That was Fave with Beautifully. Fave with Beautifully from the Beautifully single. Fave with Beautifully. And we're just talking about beautiful things in terms of being a lot more intentional, especially in towards our significant others, and making them something instead of just buying to make things easier. I was sharing earlier, if you're just logging in, hey, Sincere Jelly, DJ Jelly on the line. I was sharing earlier about how I was watching this video and this man was bawling his eyes out. I mean, he was crying. I thought something major had taken place. Well, something major had taken place. It was his birthday, and his daughter had baked him a cake. The cake was not appealing to the eye. He said it tasted good, and she said she tried her best, but she made him a cake, and he cried heavily. And he shared in the comments, because people were like, "Why is he crying like that?" And he shared in the comments that he was crying like that because he hadn't had anybody just bake him a cake since he was like 12 years old. Nobody just baked him something. And that moved me because I was like, well, goodness, something so simple. And he said he had cakes. So people are like, you haven't had any cakes? He's like, no, they buy him cakes. People have bought him cakes and bought him different things. But the fact that she took time to try to learn how to make him something, make him a cake, instead of just buying him one, moved me to tears. And if you know me well, you know I'm kind of sappy. I'm a little sappy, but it moved me because I'm like, well, what happened to that? What happened to that? So if your significant other has a taste for something, are you buying it because it's more convenient for you? Or are you taking out time to do something for them specifically? That's what we're talking about today. So that's what I just kind of want to know. And VL shares, he said, when I was married, my ex-wife loved red velvet cake. So I learned how to make it for her. He learned how to make it for her. Tamika's talking about she's thinking about, even though her husband is a chef, she's married to a chef. So yeah, if I'm married to a chef, you might be feeling a little intimidated and feel like, you know what, instead of making this thing, I'm just going to go ahead and buy it so I know it's going to be good. Take the time. He learned how to make it for her. Now, I don't know if VL took a class or watched YouTube or did a cooking book. I don't know if he had, how many times he tried before it came out, but just the thought, he learned how to make it because it was her favorite. That's what I'm talking about. That is amazing to me. But only because I've had a number of conversations this week with women who are like, I'm not going through all that. Who's doing that? That's why there's a bakery. And I was like, wow, like, really, guys? And no, they were serious. Like, no, ma'am, we're not doing all that. Jenna didn't do anything too exciting this weekend. Hopefully this week will be a little more exciting for you, Jenna. VO said she appreciated the effort because my attempts were not that great. Aw. So she appreciated the efforts because his attempts were not that great. That's what I mean. And I just feel like there's so much in someone taking out time to make something for you. And it doesn't seem like that's something that we're open to doing. And I was very surprised at all the women who were telling me, like, there are bakeries for a reason. This is why there are bakeries, because I'm not doing that. Why get messy? Why get my house messy? Why, go through all that when I could just go buy him his cake? And that was just like, whoa to me. VL said we had a thing for Valentine's Day to make things instead of buying expensive gifts. Okay. So, ladies, are we open to something like that? Y'all made gifts. You made gifts? I'm kind of curious about what kind of stuff would you make. Ladies, what kind of stuff do you think you would like made for you? Because now I'm like, ooh, can you learn to crochet or something? VL said he read a recipe from a cookbook. So you read a recipe from a cookbook, and that's why reading is fundamental, y'all. Following directions, learn how to follow directions. He made a cake, and it came out, and they were able to eat it. That's awesome. Jenna says, I don't mind doing that with regular food, but baking is a different story. Okay, see, Jenna, and that's what they were telling me. Like, they'll cook his favorite meal all day long, but don't ask him to bake. Don't ask him to bake something. That's why they are bakers. Why can't we learn? Try. VL just shared that he had, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it said she appreciated the effort because my attempts were not that great. That lets me know that he tried more than once to make this thing that she loved. So why can't we do that? Right? we're doing it with food and expecting them to like it. Why can't, what's, like for real, y'all, what's the difference? Why are we like that with baking goods opposed to cooking goods? Why are we like this? Tamika says, I did not know that overbeating batter made it dry. Oh, neither did I. Cookbook don't tell you those little secrets. Wow, Tamika. How do you know if you're overbeating it? Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so I can see that being a point of concern. I just don't know. But one thing I do know is WXNA is radio for the people, by the people. Free to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a pretty sweet deal when you think about it. But we need your support to keep it that way. Don't side with the suits. Keep independent commercial-free radio alive. Go to WXNAFM.org to donate now or become a member today. So, yeah, these are things they don't tell you. They don't tell you about the batter being dry. I didn't know that was a thing. But there's so many resources now, y'all. There's so many resources that I honestly feel like that's just not a good enough excuse. We can do better. We can do better. We can do what? We can do better. Better. Believe me, we can do better. Here's Believe Me by Johnny Drill. Listen to Jelly on the X. We gotta do better, y'all. What have you done to me? Hey, believe me. What'd you say, Jenna? Like Tamika has said, it's baking is a science. Oh, I know I was on the air. I didn't realize I was still in the air. Baking is a science. I watched my grandmother do it, and you had to sift the flour several times. Like Tamika said, it's stuff you should do that recipe doesn't cover. I didn't know you were supposed to sift it more than once. Y'all, we can learn though. Man, Brianna, I guess you think you all that. Did you win? Looks like you beat me. We gotta. I just whether someone have someone that can bake my birthday cake. My auntie does it every year. She has her auntie make my red velvet cake. Oh, I know that my dad can bake me one too. He's great at baking. But why you can't learn to make your favorite red velvet cake? Hi, Kina. I feel like everybody can learn, y'all. Like, I watch a lot of what's that Netflix show? Nailed It. And sometimes that stuff be coming out bad, looking bad, but then they be like, it tasted good. I feel like we can do it. You know what I'm saying? Try now. You listen. You listen to WXNA LP Nashville 101.5 FM. Tracking back, that was Johnny Drill. Johnny Drill, and believe me, sorry about that earlier, guys. I didn't know I was on the air. So talking while you didn't even get to hear the beginning of the song. I apologize, but that was Johnny Drill with "Believe Me" from the "Believe Me" single. So that was Johnny Drill with "Believe Me," and believe me, we can learn. Like y'all, back in the day, there wasn't anybody. I don't think there were as many like bakeries and different things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take people out of business. Um, we want to keep the bakers in the baking business, um, but just for the special occasions, I feel like we just need to put the love back in it. You know what I mean? Make it yourself. Like, like what they say, she put your foot in it, not your literal foot, your foot in it. I remember when I used to direct assistant director Child Care Center, and there was a young man who he used to say he could always tell, when Miss J made the food because he could taste her love. I'll tell him like, "Ooh, I put my love in this." So put your love in it and bake that significant other a cake. Learn how to make it. I'm just saying. Where's this comment that I wanted to? There she is. So Jenna says, "I don't mind doing that with regular food, but baking is a different story." And that's what I'm talking about, y'all. Like, and I may be repeating something, but it's something we can learn. If you're just joining us, we're talking about a gentleman that I saw break down crying because his daughter baked him a cake, and the cake didn't even turn out aesthetically pleasing, but he hadn't had anybody bake him a cake. Typically, people would just buy him cakes, but it was the first time someone actually took time to bake him a cake since he was like 12 years old, and he cried because he just felt so loved that she would take the extra time to learn how to bake, to gift him a baked cake. Tamika said, "I did not know that overbeating batter made it dry. The cookbook is not going to tell you those little secrets." And so that's true. Like the cookbook is not going to tell you these secrets, but now you'll learn. So if your cake turned out dry because you overbeat the batter, you won't do it the next time, next try. Jenna says, "Baking is a science. I watched my grandmother do it, and you had to sift the flour several times." So since you watched your grandmother do it, then you already kind of have an idea of how to get it done, right? Do it, do it, do it. Jenna says, like Tamika says, stuff you should do that the recipe doesn't cover. Yes, there's stuff you do the recipe doesn't cover, but that's how we learn. Tamika says, "I made homemade German cake and it was dry." My aunt told me that simple tip. That's what I'm saying. We learn, we grow. Tamika said, "I didn't know you were supposed to sift more than once." You know now. Eat that man cake. Jenna says, "I just rather someone have someone that can bake my B-Day cake. My auntie does it every year. She has her auntie make my red velvet cake. Oh, I know that my dad can bake me one too. He's great at baking." But what would it be like to have somebody say that about you though? Like, "Ooh, she made me that cake. He made me that cake." They could have got it from auntie so and so, but they made it themselves. VL says, "Practice increases knowledge and competency." Exactly. Practice increases knowledge and competency. We know auntie so and so does a great job. How about we learn how to make something and bless auntie so and so or uncle so and so with this baked good while they're still here? Instead of them always cooking for somebody else. I'm just saying, we're just having a conversation. We're just having a conversation. We're just having a conversation. Kena says, "It depends on what it is. A chocolate souffle, there are people who can do that." Yeah, there are people who can do it. And we are those people. Kena says, "Baking ingredients too expensive to be out here messing up goods groceries." That is what the women were telling me. Oh my gosh. That is what people keep telling me. The ingredients are too expensive. Are they too expensive? Is that person not worth the cost of the ingredients to try to make something they love? I'm just saying. Jenna says, I might try baking one with my dad soon so he can teach me. He taught me how to bake pie, so maybe he can teach me how to bake a cake. Yes. Come on, guys. We're going to do something new. Jenna says, Kina, right. Eggs are high, LL, the baking flour. Y'all are. Practice makes perfect. I believe we can do it. VL says, cooking and baking is a learned skill. They are learned skills. And I feel like it would be much appreciated. Tina says, but vanilla wasn't $16 though. Oh my goodness. No, vanilla wasn't $16 back in the day. But I feel like those people are worth it. It's not wasting if it's done in love. It's not wasting if it's done with good intention. And not just that, it's not wasting when you're learning a skill and you're growing as a person, right? Right? I'm just saying. VL says, where are you getting the vanilla? So he wants to know where y'all getting this $16 vanilla. He says, YouTube is a great resource for a lot of things. Y'all are cracking me up today. Keenan says, good organic vanilla from most stores are over $12 for 2 to 4 ounces. But how much is a cake? A good cake? A good cake for your significant other. I feel like they're worth it. Make that man a cake. Make that girl a cake. Here's Love Don't Cost a Dime by Majix. You listen to Jelly on the X. Are you awake over there? Oh. I didn't see it. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Wait, what? I didn't do anything. And the game just...
Wait, actually you did.
I just picked up my phone.
No, that's not correct. No.
Yes. Man, Kina, what you're saying, that is what that's what I've been hearing from people just talking about when I was talking to people about, let's go back to baking them stuff instead of buying them stuff. And they're just like, they're just saying it costs too much. And that just blew my mind. Because they're worth it. And if you don't know, we can't put a price on experience. We can't put a price on the value of us learning, right? Yes. Cake flour is expensive. Do you have to go? What stores are you going to? Do you have to go to the Cha-Cha store where you know it's more expensive? Oh, I lost.
You did? It
Says I lost.
says you lost. What?
Hold on. Y'all are killing me. But this is what most of the women are telling me is it costs too much money and not going through all that, just buy. We probably want to buy. These same women that do you listen to WXNA LP Nashville 101.5 FM. Tracking back, that was Majix. With Love Don't Cost a Dime, the re-up featuring Ira Star. That's on the Love Don't Cost a Dime release. And so if you're just joining in, hey, appreciate you being here. I'm having a great conversation. We're talking about like just I saw a thing where a gentleman was really broke down, crying and carrying on because his daughter had made him a cake from scratch. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing. However, the fact that somebody went out of their way to make him a cake, and because he hadn't had a homemade baked cake made especially for him since he was 12 years old, and he was moved to tears. It moved me to tears. It's a big God, but it moved me to tears. And so I was thinking, like, this man is saying he hasn't had a cake baked for him since he was 12 years old. And then different gentlemen all started commenting about themselves, how they hadn't had anybody make anything from them from scratch and how they would have cried too. And I'm like, ladies, gentlemen, whoever, what are we doing for our significant others? Why aren't we baking? Why are we trying? Why? Uh, and then I had gotten several different responses speaking to women about it. Women that I knew in terms of like stuff costs money, it's too expensive. There are people to pay for that, but why can't we make it themselves? I remember a relative telling me long ago that if your significant other asks for something, has a taste for something, make it yourself. Even if it's not your best dish, make it yourself. Don't let them have a taste for something and someone else feel the need, even if it's just a local baker. That's all I'm saying. Renewal House. Pregnant women living with a substance use disorder are at high risk of experiencing health complications without proper prenatal and postpartum support. Renewal House can help you focus on overcoming your substance use disorder by providing specialized treatment tailored to meet your needs. A healthier life for you and your baby is a possibility with Renewal House. Call 615-255-5222, extension 114. So tracking back. Keita was sharing how the ingredients are just way too expensive to waste or to mess up, a cake. The ingredients are just way too expensive. She talks about how good organic vanilla for most stores are over $12 for 2 to 4 ounces, but I feel like you don't need that much, right, to bake the cake. Let's make that cake. Ew. And then she said cake flour is expensive as well. She said, I would do a baking class first to get skilled on a new recipe. Okay. Sounds like Keena's coming around. You're going to do a baking class. Cool beans. She says, we all can't be great. Jenna says, we all can't be great at everything. No, we can't be great at everything. But what I'm trying to say is that other person deserves the effort, is what I'm saying. BL says, we spend money on whatever we want to spend money on. This is true. This is so true. BL says, our ancestors didn't buy the expensive ingredients. They didn't. Your ancestors didn't buy the expensive ingredients, and quiet as it's kept, some of your grannies didn't either. Now, we act like we need to buy something from a certain place to be a certain way for our significant other to enjoy it. And all I'm saying is, try. I mean, it just might even just spice up your life, spice up your relationship. The fact that you did try, it may turn out horribly. And there's going to be something you can laugh about together, about how horrible your cake turned out. But it might add a little spice back. Little spice to your life. I'm just saying, the effort alone might bring a little spice to your life. I'm just saying. And then he'd be over here talking about some, can I play this? I played it last time. Make that cake. He or she might be over there talking about some Touch It. Here's Touch It by Kitty, listening to Jelly on the X. And Manova. I will give effort in other areas. LOL, I got hubby on his favorite meal. You don't know that. How do you know? We don't know. We don't know. But because you're open, I'm excited. At this point, the best thing is to put our effort in for everything, right? That's what we need to do. Decide that we make his favorite, we make her favorite of everything. We're not letting anybody else suffice that taste they got. I don't even know if I'm using the right wording, but I said what I said. You're listening to WXNALP Nashville 101.5 FM. And tracking back, that was Kitty with Touch It. Touch It from the Golden Boy release. And you're just tuning in. We're talking about baking, making things with our hands instead of just buying everything for a significant other. Making, baking, trying our best, taking a class, learning to be the one to fill those needs, including that taste they might have for a certain delicacy or pastry. Taking a class, YouTube, practice. They're worth it. Spice up your life. Make them a little something. Just saying. Jenna says, I will give effort in other areas. LOL, I got hubby on his favorite meal. Hopefully. No, you got that. Jenna says, because I can cook. That I know for sure. I can figure out any recipe for cooking. If you can figure out any recipe for cooking, you can figure out any recipe for baking. It is within you. You can. Everybody say, we can. We can. Yes, we can. We can. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. It has really been fun. I don't know if DJ Juan is coming today, but I definitely want to thank you guys for being here with me. Who is this? Jenna. Jenna says baking is different. No. We're going to keep on with that mindset. We can do this. We can make it happen. We got this. I want to thank y'all for being here. Know that I wouldn't want to do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. It has definitely been a lot of fun. And know that if you go above and beyond to do something special for your loved one, I think it was VL who was sharing with us how his ex-wife was so appreciative of what he used to do and how he learned how to make something that she loved. That's huge. That is huge. So even putting in the effort, it may not come out perfect, but just the fact that we put in the effort, I feel like it's going to have a positive impact on our relationships. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Don't let that person say they haven't had anybody take the time to bake them something since they were 12. Let's stop that nonsense. Jenna says, it took my cousin a while to figure out how to bake a pound cake, just like my grandmother. Okay, Jenna, how long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take you? You got this. You got this. You got this. Go ahead and make those things for those significant others and let them enjoy it. And then let them, just affirming that you were made for them. After this song, I'm out, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Here's Made for You by Becky W. Love you guys. See you next week. Hold on 1 second, Brianna. So wait, have you already won? Because all your balls are gone?
Yeah. All my balls are gone, but I gotta hit the black ball.
Well, that's sad. I wanted to win. Hey, guys. Who is this? I'm not going to even try that one. She got it. Jenna! You got it. Just like the sky was open on the line. What you doing? What you doing, pretty girl? Get it. Hey, hey. Jenna, we're going to learn. Pound cake is my favorite. We're going to get it. Okay? All right, y'all. Love y'all. Have a great one. Oh. I'll bring a different computer next week.
I won.
You won? I want to play a different game.